Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. There's no denying that the Cleveland Browns are one of the most intriguing teams this season. Coming into 2023, expectations were high, especially after a couple of seasons where injuries and inconsistent play kept them from reaching their true potential. Fans have been eager to see this team take that next step, and so far there have been moments of promise, but also some questions about how the front office and coaching staff are managing certain situations. And right now, one of the biggest stories in Cleveland is the recent trade involving veteran quarterback Joe Flacco, which isn't just about the player itself, but hints at some deeper organizational fissures that could have long-term implications for this franchise. Let's break it down. This week, the Browns decided to send Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback with a lot of experience but limited on-field action this season, to the Cincinnati Bengals. The trade was quite straightforward. Cleveland swapped Flacco and a 6th-round pick for a 5th-round pick in next year's draft. To many, this might seem like a simple roster move, but when you look beneath the surface, it signals potential shifts in the team's organizational philosophy, especially at the quarterback position. The decision to trade Flacco so quickly, and with such little warning, has raised eyebrows across the league and among Browns fans alike. What's really caught everyone's attention is the reaction from head coach Kevin Stefanski. When questioned about the trade, he admitted that the move took the team by surprise. He said, "Well, first I'd tell you the Joe Flacco trade took us by surprise. That was not something that we saw coming," and he explained that the process happened very fast, that they were called, and then the trade was completed in a matter of hours. Now, this kind of reaction from Stefanski is unusual because, ideally, a head coach is kept in the loop about roster decisions, especially ones involving players who have been part of the team for some time. But what does it really mean? Is this a sign of a bigger disconnect between the front office and coaching staff? Or is it just a case of a quick strategic move that everyone agreed upon but didn't have time to fully discuss beforehand? Some analysts, like Emmett Golden from ESPN Cleveland, have pointed out that Stefanski's comments might suggest he was a bit bothered by the move. When asked whether the Browns' general manager, Andrew Berry, consulted him about the trade, Golden responded quite openly, saying, "No, I think he was told." Golden emphasized that he believes Stefanski was informed after the decision was made, and that the head coach might not have had a say in the matter. Of course, this is just speculation, but it does highlight some potential tension within the organization. Browns fans know how important cohesion is, especially when trying to build a team capable of competing at the highest level. Now, why does this matter so much? Well, the quarterback position has always been central to the Browns' success. Last season, they struggled to find stability under center, which contributed to their inconsistent results. This year, they brought in Dillon Gabriel, who has been the starter, and he's shown flashes of promise. But the team also invested heavily in a rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, who has been kept at QB3, meaning he's the third-string quarterback behind Gabriel and Flacco before the trade. The decision to keep Sanders at that level initially was reportedly to protect him from the rigors of game situations, especially since the offensive game plan was tailored around Gabriel's skill set. NFL insiders like Ian Rappaport have suggested that the Browns didn't want Sanders stepping into games prematurely, particularly against the Vikings in London, where they wanted to give Gabriel every chance to succeed. But now, the question is what happens next. With Flacco gone, the Browns are faced with a new dilemma. Do they promote Bailey Zappe from the practice squad to be the backup quarterback? Or do they elevate Sanders and give him some more reps, perhaps even a shot at playing time sooner rather than later? Stefanski has been quite cautious about this, saying that he's carefully considering all options and that he wants to make the right decision. It's a balancing act. On one hand, they want to develop Sanders and see what he can do, but on the other, they need a reliable backup in case Gabriel gets injured or struggles. And here's where things get even more interesting. the Browns have been in a bit of a limbo with their quarterback depth chart. The team's coaching staff, led by Stefanski, has been focused on winning games this year, but organizational decisions like the Flacco trade reveal a different layer of strategic planning that might not always align perfectly with the coaching philosophy. This kind of internal discord isn't new in the NFL, but it's always a tricky situation, especially when the stakes are high and the team is aiming for a deep playoff run. Looking at the bigger picture, the Browns have been building a roster with a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. Their defense remains one of the most formidable in the league, with playmakers that can change games at any moment. Offensively, they've been relying on their ground game, with Nick Chubb returning from injury and leading the charge, complemented by a passing attack that is still finding its rhythm. But the quarterback position remains a question mark, and how the team manages this will be crucial for their success in the coming weeks. We also have to consider the broader implications of this trade. When a franchise makes a move like this, trading a veteran like Flacco, who's been a steady presence in the locker room, it signals a possible shift in how the organization views the current roster. Are they looking more towards the future, investing in young players like Sanders and Gabriel, or are they simply making tactical moves to optimize their chances this season? It's a nuanced situation, and Browns fans should be paying close attention because it might influence how the team approaches the rest of the year, especially as they face divisional rivals like the Pittsburgh Steelers and Baltimore Ravens. And speaking of the division, the AFC North is as competitive as ever. The Ravens are still a powerhouse, the Steelers have a tough defense and a solid offense, and the Bengals are always in the mix with their dynamic playmakers. In this context, the Browns' organizational decisions, including how they handle their quarterback situation, could be the difference between contending for a division title or falling behind. The AFC North is known for its physicality, unpredictability, and tight races, so every decision off the field can have ripple effects on the standings. Now, let's talk a little about the players involved. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who was kept at QB3, has shown some flashes of potential during practice and limited game reps. His development is crucial because he represents the future of the franchise's quarterback room. However, he's still raw, and rushing him into action prematurely might be risky. That's why the Browns have been cautious, and why the current debate about who should be the backup is so heated among fans and analysts alike. Bailey Zappe, who has spent the entire season on the practice squad, could be a more experienced option to step in if needed. He's played in the NFL before and might provide a steadier hand in a pinch. But then, promoting Sanders could be a move to accelerate his development, especially if the team feels confident enough to give him some reps in live action. The coaching staff's approach will be critical. Stefanski has always been pragmatic, but he's also conscious of player development and team chemistry. His comments about waiting to see how the week unfolds before making a final decision show that he's weighing his options carefully. It's a delicate situation because the difference between a good backup and a bad one can sometimes be the difference between winning and losing close games. And let's not forget the fans, who are always eager for every bit of news about their team. Browns fans have been through a lot over the years, the highs of playoff runs, the lows of rebuilds, and everything in between. This season, there's a renewed sense of hope, especially with the potential of a talented roster and a coaching staff that's shown flashes of brilliance. But internal organizational issues, like the recent trade of Flacco, remind us that football is not just about X's and O's. It's also about management, strategy, and sometimes even politics within the franchise. All of this leads us to one simple but powerful point. The Cleveland Browns are at a crossroads. The decisions made in the next few weeks regarding their quarterback room, especially with Sanders, Gabriel, and Zappe, will shape their season and possibly their future. If they manage this well, they could set themselves up for a deep playoff run. If not, they might find themselves struggling to stay afloat in the fiercely competitive AFC North. It's a fascinating time for Browns fans, and I know everyone is watching every move closely, eager to see how this organizational story unfolds. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the organization is making the right moves? Are you worried about the internal tensions hinted at by the Flacco trade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates. so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We are in this journey together, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Let's keep the passion alive and keep supporting this incredible team. Go Browns!